Welcome to the podcast of iPen Magazine. I'm Joanne Cox.
And I'm Nanette Buchanan. And we're here on this podcast. Let's talk about it. And today's topic is healthy relationships. And one thing I want to say is I believe that the relationships since we've had this COVID pandemic have changed immensely. Good, bad, and ugly. We've had all kind of relationships come into our lives, and we wonder about some of the things that have been going on. We have the personal relationships, we have the family relationships, we have the relationships. We find how much closer we are to some of the things that we didn't realize affected us. Our health care. We have a relationship with our doctor that has changed. The relationship with our educators has changed. The relationship with our community has changed. And in that, we're looking for something healthy.
Yes. And I truly believe that this is one that can help everyone. It doesn't matter what the ages are, and it doesn't matter what, is it a romantic relationship, a work relationship, you and your neighbor. Because when it comes to a healthy relationship, they all have to have trust.
Yes.
That's one of the factors that we're going to go over. I'm going to name some things and then we'll go back to it. But we want to have trust. We want to be flexible.
Yes.
We want to be open to evolve.
Yes.
And we want to always show gratitude.
And empathy.
Of course.
I think empathy is one of the things that during this pandemic that we've been going through and have went through, we find that it's no longer a question about what's wrong with me or what's going on with me. We tie it into a lot of people now. It's we no longer have that privilege of saying it's not about me, because what affects my neighbor truly can affect me. And I think that this situation is a connecting factor. One of the things that came up, you mentioned children and it being relative to all ages. One of the things that came up that really shocked me was the fact that I never thought about the child or the person, adult or children, that was being abused in their home. And the fact that they have to now be quarantined at home or spend more time at home without the outlets. And what people thought as outlets, I just thought was a normal work day. Well, the woman that's being abused might think her job is the outlet.
Yes.
Where she can get out and be among other people with other mindsets and everything else. And for the child, it's the same thing. Those that don't have food to eat, the relationship that they have at home is entirely different than the relationship they get at school or where they can get food.
Yes.
So I just believe that these relationships, we need to do better with the relationships.
And if we look at our model of what good relationships look like, what a healthy relationship, it all boils down to these people have trust. If you have trust in the employee-employer situation, these people tend to grow and they evolve because of that trust factor. You can tell them where you want to grow, what are some goals you have to grow in the job. If it's a romantic relationship, if you lay your problems down on the table or say what you want to get together, that is showing that you feel open enough to trust. And when a child or a wife, I'm not going to say wife because there are men that are abused as well. But when you have trust in another person, now you can tell them of that situation and you'll be able to get help in that area.
And I think communication comes into play simply because you have to be able to communicate it, or you have to be able to look for the signs of it. Sometimes communication is not verbal. Sometimes it's just something that you pick up. For example, there were teachers that were on being that everyone's discussing about going back to school and doing what they have to do. And they were talking about, well, how are we going to open the schools? And the teachers got to talking about what they see in the students that no one else may see. Sometimes with them being from a different angle, they can see some of the things that are worrying the student, taking the test. It's not so much that I'm worried about the test, I'm worried about my mom. It's not so much that I'm worried about the test, I'm worried about my sister. So there's other things that we sometimes have to be emphatic to, looking at it and just have some kind of empathy and look at it from that angle. And even though we might have the trust, be willing to communicate.
Mm-hmm.
Be willing to open up to those that we do trust.
And
be willing.
yes, and on that's just one side. So
Mm-hmm.
now we have to make the other participant that's being abused
Mm-hmm.
feel that it's okay. And when we don't trust people, we usually have baggage.
Yes.
And there's someone that you thought you could trust, and now you feel that they weren't trustworthy. And so now you feel that, can I trust my teacher? Can I trust my pastor? Can I trust my neighbor, but I really want help? So we have to understand that when people are not trusting, it's usually from baggage that they're holding from their past or another situation.
And other people always say, well, they're not in that situation anymore.
Mm-hmm.
It should be different. It should be something else that they can cling on to or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to remember that people go with what they know.
Right.
They go with what their purpose is and how things are for them. And you have to be flexible.
Yes.
You have to be able to understand. I remember working in law enforcement, in corrections, and there was a big problem because we had to wear these new vests.
Mm-hmm.
And in wearing the new vests, women that were pregnant would be so miserable because the vest only fits you when it fits you.
Mm-hmm.
You gain too much weight, or you gain that pregnancy weight, or
Yes.
you with the baby.
It's the wrong size
And it
now.
was a problem. So you communicate that, and you try to keep that healthy relationship with your supervisors and a healthy relationship with your coworkers, and you're frustrated and you're
want to be able to
aggravated.
compromise on
And
all
you
sides.
have to be able to compromise on all sides. You have to be able to think about it from a whole different point of view. I can't express that any further than that, because otherwise your relationship is going to sink.
And what I'd like to do is get into that flexibility on all sides. Because if it's a
Yes.
romantic relationship, two people are not going to think alike all the time.
Exactly.
And so you're going to have to be flexible so that you can stretch or pull back on different things, because of the fact that that is what makes the relationship work.
And not only that, you have to have respect.
Yes.
Be respectful of other people's opinions, other people's problems, other people's position, and how they want to handle the problem. Just because you and I talk, and I tell you, well, Joanne, I think maybe if you do X, Y, Z, it'd be good. I can't get mad at you because you didn't pick what I said to do. I can't get upset with you because it's your relationship
And that's-
that you're trying to fix.
And that can fall into that flexibility of the employee-employer.
Yes.
Because there are going to be some times where they're going to say, can you stay late? And you're saying no, but then you know that it's a crisis that's going on, that you need to be flexible to be able to do that. But now let's go into being open to evolve. Some people just
Yes.
want to stay stagnant.
Right.
And
Or walk away from the relationship without even thinking about it being a good relationship.
Yes.
I'd rather just walk away. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to open up. I don't trust what they're saying, so therefore there's no need to say anything else. Sometimes we confuse what is said, and that's often because we listen with half an ear. We listen to reply. We don't listen to understand what's going on. And we can't do that in a healthy relationship. It has to be a give and take. And we
Yes.
have to be willing to do that. And not only that, how about just being honest?
yes.
If I don't understand you, why can't I just tell you that? Why can't I say, no, Joanne, can you explain that better? Or can you say that differently? Or what do you mean? Why can't I just do it that way?
Because we have that baggage again, and someone is maybe not saying it in a soft and approachable way. And so sometimes we need to know how to say something. When you know how to say it, instead of nope, that's just not gonna work, And so when we let people know what we can do, what not, and how we can make it work, it's so much easier to receive.
Well, what about the healthy relationship for the person who is now totally different than they were when they first got into the relationship?
That's called evolving.
When we grow and surpass the person that we are in the relationship with, be it a friend, be it a spouse, be it a boyfriend, be it a girlfriend, be it whomever, when we get to the point where we're doing so much different, and it could be on a positive.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be negative. It could be positive. Why would someone then want the relationship or say that the relationship has changed so much that they can't be in the relationship?
Because they are saying, stay with me. You know that I believe in psychology, it's the crab effect.
Yes.
Every time someone is going, they pull the other person down. And it's like, if you grow and I don't even want to grow. Why can't you just stay here with me? Why are you wanting to write 5 books and I just want to write one? So we have to understand that we're all on different levels and it's okay. And I can say, oh, I'm so proud of you. That is so great what you're doing. You know, but before we wrap this up, I want to just mention the unhealthy ones.
Yes.
Okay, the unhealthy means you're too dependent on someone. The dependency, the hostility, which can form because of the fact that the person is growing at a rapid pace. Having control issues over another person.
Right.
You said honesty, so unhealthy would be dishonest.
Right.
And then we have the physical abuse, disrespect. You've already named these. But just to say, intimidation.
Right.
We get up in someone's face because of the fact that maybe we can bully them to stop growing.
To stop growing, yes.
So understand the difference between healthy and unhealthy. And we know that it can be a better world.
And if you think about these relationships, especially in this time, it is now to the point where if you're a outdoor addict, you are going crazy. Right about now, you're going crazy. I need to be outside. I got to get outside. I got to go outside. More people are getting into outdoor walks. More people are getting into outdoor time. But the thing about it is that time that you spend in the house cooped up, it's causing relationship differences. And we have to embrace that. We have to understand that. Understand that the person that walked for 30 minutes is now walking for an hour.
And so that goes into being flexible. So we'll wrap that up by being flexible and letting you give us the word.
Let's see what we say about healthy relationships. There's ingredients to it. Love without fear. Trust without wondering. Be there without restrictions. Accept someone without wanting to change them. I believe if we can do those things, even in the midst of this pandemic, even in the midst of no pandemic, we can change our relationships and make them healthier. Because that's what we need. We need healthy relationships so that we can be a reflection in our communities. Thank you for tuning in. And don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to comment. Don't forget to tell us what you like and a topic you may want to hear about. Thanks for being with Let's Talk About It.
Spread the word so that we can all let's talk about it.
Rewind the track, yeah.